It's Sunday, September 29th, and extreme changes are happening to soon-to-be Hurricane Imelda right now. The storm has completely shifted its track away from the United States, which is definitely very good news. It has gone from an expected landfall in potentially South Carolina to just turning into another fish storm. Now, however, this still will bring some pretty hefty impacts to the Bahamas, which we normally expect to see with tropical systems. It will only impact the Bahamas as a tropical storm, though, bringing some surge, some flooding from rainfall, and even some gusty winds. There's also a tropical storm warning along the eastern coast of Florida, which kind of spans from just south of Jacksonville to around the West Palm area. This would just be for some gusty winds and some rainfall, then maybe some big rip currents, big swells, and potentially some beach erosion, but nothing really that big happening there at all. It wouldn't really feel any different from your typical Florida afternoon thunderstorms. And here's Imelda right now. It has just been upgraded to a tropical storm from the National Hurricane Center, and it definitely doesn't look very organized at all. It's a very disorganized area of thunderstorms, kind of rotating around a center, which is just south of the Bahamas right now. But now it is going to start to act a little bit more organized and get its act together as it has access to those very warm sea surface temperatures, a not super sheared environment, and then this is probably the most moist environment it will see. But playing a huge role in the steering of Imelda is going to be Major Hurricane Umberto. This is Umberto right now, and it is just a absolutely beautiful storm churning out in the Atlantic. This is also not going to impact the United States in any way, except indirectly steering Imelda away. And this is going to be responsible for a rare phenomenon known as a Fujiwara, which is when two hurricanes kind of steer each other in a certain direction, which is definitely what we're about to see. That is one of the main reasons, including a stationary front along the coast of the US, why Imelda is expected to take that early shift out into the Atlantic, kind of saving the US from any big impacts. And as we can see, Hurricane Umberto is a very textbook looking hurricane, very nice eye, and just it has that classic hurricane shape that we would expect to see. And as of right now, it is a very high end category 4 storm, 150-mile-an-hour sustained winds, and this is going to stay a major hurricane all the way up until Tuesday morning. And this path and track and intensity, this is one of the rare times that we're actually kind of glad to see a very strong storm, because if it weren't as strong, it would not be able to have as much steering power with Imelda. Now, luckily for at least Bermuda, this is not expected to take a direct hit at all. I still think there will still be some tropical storm conditions. That means some gusty winds, potentially some small surge, but nothing really crazy for the island, which is definitely good news, because it looked like for a bit that might be a possibility, but now that has kind of been excluded entirely as a possibility altogether. So now this is kind of a best case scenario for us for both storms. Bermuda isn't really going to take much of an impact from Umberto. Umberto is going to steer Imelda away from the United States, and the United States will see pretty minimal impacts altogether. So this is very good news. And here's some model data kind of showing what I was just talking about. To the right, we're going to see Major Hurricane Umberto, and then we're going to see on the left what is going to turn into Hurricane Imelda. And we're going to see that Fujiwara effect kind of take place, and Imelda is just going to get sucked out to sea by Umberto, kind of leaving very minimal impacts. We can also see that that stationary front along the US could potentially be kind of accentuated a little bit or increased in strength by Imelda, potentially increasing the rainfall along the US, but it would be very minimal flooding risk at least. And that would be really the main thing that we're expecting to see from the storm. But other than that, it's just going to go out to sea, take that very early turn, and we're not really expecting to see any impacts. So that is very good news altogether in the tropics.